Hey there, I'm James Roebuck, and this is my review of Expert Secrets by Russel Brunson. It's the first beautiful day of the spring today, so I thought I'd try shooting outside, get some natural light. So I'm going to start off by telling you the subtitle of this book, Expert Secrets. It is The Underground Playbook for Creating a Mass Movement of People Who Will Pay for Your Advice. Russell talks a lot about how to position yourself as an expert in your field, and then, as the subtitle says, position yourself in a way where you will build a movement of people who want to pay for your advice. So there's a lot of good stuff in this book, but I'm going to go over one thing, and that is something called false belief pattern. So Russell says that we all create these belief systems that support our decisions. We start doing this as soon as we're born, and these belief systems are the foundation for our lives. In fact, we create these belief systems in order to keep us safe and safeguard our status. Russell talks a lot about when people make any decision in life, whether it's to buy something or anything else, it all has to do with status, how we perceive ourselves and how others will perceive us. And it is these false belief systems that a lot of the times hold us back from progressing in our lives. So when someone's in a position like I am and I'm trying to sell someone something, one of the biggest barriers, one of the first things that comes into a person's mind when I start talking about my product and trying to sell it is their false belief system. What that means is it's natural that a person subconsciously starts thinking about all of the reasons why they shouldn't buy this thing. Now, if it's a solution, so if it's a weight loss solution or if it's a solution to create a best man speech, their subconscious false belief system will start telling them why this product or this course won't work. So the way a false belief system is established is through some sort of experience. It can be a positive experience or a negative experience, but once a person has had a certain experience, what they do is they create a story in their minds around that belief. So they cushion that belief with a story so it makes sense in their own mind of why they believe it. Russell talks about how this is a really simple process, but in fact it's happened tens of thousands of times in all of our lives. Most of the time it's happening subconsciously, so we don't even realize it. Your subconscious has so much control over these stories that two people can have literally the exact same experience, but they'll have a different belief system around that depending on the story that their subconscious creates. So the cool thing is, from a marketer's perspective, is when you understand that story that's in your prospect's mind, when you understand their false belief, you can actually replace that story with a different one and change their false belief. For example, let's say we're trying to sell a weight loss program. A false belief that could be really common for someone who's tried to lose weight in the past but has failed is that if I try to lose weight, I'm going to be miserable. Next, what we try to figure out is what experience is actually linked to that false belief. So it could be something like, last year I tried to lose weight by cutting out carbs and I felt miserable. So the story that this person is telling themselves is that in order to lose weight, I have to give up something that I like carbs, and I'm going to be miserable. So losing weight equals miserable. And then what a marketer can do is replace that story by saying something like, I used to think that I would have to give up foods that I like in order to lose weight until I discovered this new weight loss program where I can take these actions but still eat carbs. The whole point of this exercise is so that you don't actually have to sell things to people. What you can do is lead them through your own story, break down your own false beliefs, and if it's similar enough to their experiences that they've had in the past, they'll in fact convince themselves that they want to purchase this service or product. So the great part is that if you are an expert in a certain field, you probably weren't an expert at some point in your life. So you probably have a very similar story that led you to find this knowledge. And simply sharing that story of who you used to be and what you used to think and now how you think differently because of what you know is going to be the perfect story to share with someone in order to break down their false beliefs. Like, I cannot lose weight unless I stop eating carbs. The final part of your story is something called an epiphany bridge. So you came to some realization, or you had a friendly stranger who taught you something, but either way, you found what the secret was. You found what the alternative was to everything they've tried in the past. That actually brings me to another great point in Expert Secrets. It has nothing to do with false beliefs, but Russell talks about the difference between creating a new opportunity and an improvement. New opportunities are so much more powerful because if you're pitching your product or service as an improvement of something old, people are going to have tons and tons of false beliefs as to why this solution for their problem didn't work in the past. When you position your product or service as a brand new opportunity that no one's ever heard of or tried before, it's so much more likely that you'll be able to break down these false beliefs through your stories and through your epiphany bridge. There's a ton more to Expert Secrets. Anyone who is an online marketer and wants to understand the psychology behind leading someone through making a sale online, I'd say this is an essential book. So pick it up. Russell's got a really cool offer on his website where you can actually get his books for free plus shipping. The shipping ends up to be $8 to $15 depending on where you live, but it's another interesting way of positioning his product that he's going to give you his book for free, but you just have to pay shipping, but really buy a book for $10. This week I'm going to read a book called The Truth About Starting a Business. I've already started mine, so it'll be interesting to read this perspective. I'll have that review 1 week from now, next Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed this spring version of my book review. If you've been liking my reviews, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube, and I'll see you next week with my review of The Truth About Starting a Business.